Right, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Shapewear. You're going to love it or you're going to hate it. Probably hate it, actually, probably hate it, because you pull this stuff on and your back's strained and your tummy strained and you put your shoulder out and you put your lower back out, your L5, your S1, and then you're in it. And then you can't breathe. But it's done the job, hasn't it? But has it done the job? Because what it's done is squeezed you into a sausage skin. And then you've got bulges beneath the sausage skin, haven't you? Your thighs are then bulging out below and your chest is bulging out above. So has it really worked? Because that's all that stuff it's squashing, it's got to go somewhere. Now, if you're interested in shapewear, I'll list some down below. But then let's move on, because I actually don't think shapewear is really the answer. How about instead we look at maybe pattern? Now, if you are trying to disguise an oversized area of your body, whether that's your chest, your hips, your tummy, you're not going to wear what I'm wearing now, which is a horizontal stripe. On the other hand, if you want to look bigger, maybe a horizontal stripe is something that would be an advantage. I'm not wearing it for this reason. I'm wearing it just because I actually like this horizontal stripe, which I will list down below. It's this year's t-shirt and quite a lot of you have been buying it up. That's a by the way. On the other hand, if you are wanting to actually hide those bulges or an area of your figure, vertical stripe. Vertical stripe, it draws the eye. The observer effect, you are there. The observers here, they are going to go like that. Their eyes are going to go down. And they are going to make you appear taller in their vision as their eyes are going down, and taller and slimmer as well. There you've got areas of that you want to disguise is to use a pattern. Wear a pattern, don't wear plain necessarily. So now let's avoid floral. But if you want to wear floral, yeah, great. But a pattern acts as camouflage. So if you're wearing a pattern on your tummy or around your rear and around your hips or around your chest, the observer is seeing the pattern and not seeing rumples and bulges, because that pattern is disguising it. Why do you think camouflage is camouflage? It's patterned, isn't it? Camouflage is patterned. It's not plain because it's a disguise. So use patterns strategically as a disguise. And when we're talking about pattern and using pattern as a disguise, a smaller one is better, because a big pattern could stretch over your problem area and highlight it and round it and stretch around it, whereas a smaller pattern is just dotted around the area generally, and that is disguising. Consider neckline. V-neck is going to be far more elongating than a crew neck. Turtleneck would be okay, but crew neck just kind of cuts you here. You know, although they're very fashionable at the moment, but I look at people in crew necks and think, you know what, I really like crew necks. I know they're popular. I know that people are wearing these with blazers and jackets and so on, and they are very current at the moment, but they emphasize this area here around the neck. And whereas a V-neck is more elongating, but my preference is, because you don't see V-necks as being on trend at the moment, my preference is this sort of boat neck, because it doesn't have the effect of the crew neck. It's taking you down lower, but it's, you know, you've got that nice, lovely slant. And I've got a couple of these in the horizontal stripe, but I've also got some in a plain colour as well, plain navy from Bowden, which I'll link down below, which will be wonderful for you. Now I want to show you this dress that I've recently bought. This has a pattern, so it's a bit of a camouflage. It actually pulls in a little bit underneath the bust and just down to the waist in a streamlined effect, but it's stretchy, it's super stretchy. And you can just pull it on your head, over your head to put it on. Its sleeves come down here so it can hide any bulges you might have there. And it flows down wide rather than clinging to your hips, it flows down, but in a streamlined effect. That's far more flattering to an oversized figure than a billowing skirt to the dress or a billowing top. But don't think you have to wear a pattern. try going for a monochrome. Go for one colour, and that will be elongating, a bit like the vertical stripe, and slimming, especially a dark one. Obviously, I think you probably know this, a dark colour. And the observer's eye, again, will go up and down, and that lengthens you in their eye and makes you appear slimmer. You could also detract from the bulges and the lumps and bumps. So where you haven't got any, emphasize that. So now if you've got a big rear or a big tummy, emphasize with some statement necklaces. And that means the observer's eye is up around your neck. If you've got a big chest, how about belts? How about bold earrings? Take the eye of the observer away from your area, your problem area. And talking of the elongation of monochrome, think about maybe a layering item. So you've got a column of a colour, a column of black, a column of navy, so your top and your trousers are one colour, or a maxi skirt are one colour, and then put a layering colour over the top. Avoid contrasting colour. So if you are having a top in one colour that's maybe dark or light, and your trousers or skirts the opposite, it's going to cut you in half, and cutting you in half is going to widen you. So this is why monochrome, and particularly dark monochrome, is going to be slimming. Let's talk about trousers and jeans. I am not a lover of low-rise trousers and jeans, even if you haven't got a tummy. Actually, I do have. I might be 7 stone 7, and size 8, but that doesn't mean to say I haven't got a tummy. So I have got a bit of one. And I think anybody, whether you've got one or haven't got one, in a low-rise jean, they kind of just cut you off where anything above, after you've eaten especially, just hangs over the top. Why do we want to wear low-rise? On the other hand, high-rise kind of cuts us off at our waist, and then our tummy bulges underneath. Now my solution, what I actually find works best for me, is mid-rise, because what that does is comes in just mid-tummy bulge, and it squashes my tummy in. And then I might have a little bit that hangs underneath and a little bit that hangs above, but I haven't got a condensation, a condensedness, a big ball of tummy that's hanging over or under little rounds around the mid-rise waist. Think about your underwear as well, and I don't mean shapewear. I'm talking about your knickers, your pants, whatever you call them. Where does the waistband lie? Because if that is falling as a low rise, then, and you're wearing a skirt or a dress over the top that's a bit clingy, your tummy is going to hang over the top of that underwear and bulge out and show. So I prefer, once again, a waistband on my underwear to fall just around my belly button. So it's actually not going to be cutting me off lower belly or upper belly. Now it might be tempting to actually go for oversized to hide bulges and so on, but actually I think they actually make things worse. You're better off getting clothes that fit you. If you imagine somebody wearing one of these oversized smock blouses or a tunic, and it's billowing, it's going to give the impression of maybe a tummy much bigger than you've really got. You might think you've got a big tummy because it's like this, but the blouse is actually giving you an appearance of a tummy like this. Look for a proper fit. Do you remember the 1970s caftans? You know, that type of thing. But even if people were slim wearing those, they looked big. But don't go for too small, because too small is just going to squeeze you in. And just as with shapewear, it will squeeze you in, but it doesn't make it disappear. It will squeeze back out again somewhere else. So instead of these wide tunic type tops, what would look really elegant if you're trying to hide some lumps and bumps is a straight button down, button up shirt, collared shirt, just straight with a tail, and just wear that hanging down loosely over your tummy, over your rear. It's got a shape to it because it's got the tail at the back and tail at the front, so it's coming up at the sides where you're at your slimmest. How about a wrap top? because they often have a belt. Now, if the chances are, if you've got a tummy issue or if you've got a chest issue, you possibly haven't got a waist issue. So tying a loose belt around the waist is actually still going to give you a feminine silhouette, but you're hiding. The wrap top is long enough, it's hiding the tummy, and it can be that the material from the wrap could be disguising your chest as well. Go for one as well that has a V-neck, because that is elongating, and then you can actually exaggerate maybe your jewellery to actually take the eye away from your chest. And patterns, possibly a non-floral pattern that has some sort of act of camouflage. Asymmetrical would be useful, because that's got a design at the hem that is actually drawing the eye away from anything going on up above, because you haven't got a hem that is just cutting you straight off, slanting and elongating as well via that slant and drawing the eye down. Anything that draws the eye down of the observer would be disguising you. This one's going to surprise you, but don't ignore the front tuck. It actually can be a disguise. Now, those of you who say, I can't do it, it doesn't look right, it's going to probably be because the shape of your trousers is wrong, or the top you're using is wrong, or both. Because it needs to really be a trouser that's the waistband falls at the right place, maybe around the belly button, so the midpoint. And the top needs to have some looseness to it. And what that does then, by doing the front tuck, you then are providing an opportunity to pull the material back up and over. And that in itself acts as a disguise around the waist and around the belly. Avoid those clingy t-shirt dresses. They're just going to emphasize and cling to any bulges. But what is a really good option for the summer instead of a t-shirt dress is a streamlined maxi dress. It doesn't have to be maxi, streamlined linen midi dress, knee-length dress, but these linen dresses don't cling to you and they don't billow. There is a big advantage to this, because then what are they doing? They're skimming. That's what they're doing. They're skimming, and by skimming they are going to be elongating, and often they are not patterned. Other dresses that are right would be a wrap dress, just like the wrap top, that with a V-neck that disguises a large bust. It elongates, it's flattering to our neckline, it's not drawing attention to wrinkles around here because it's cutting off more down here. The wrap adds a disguise around any belly issues as well. Some dresses with an empire line would be good. Now, with empire line, we need to be making sure that the material is not too voluminous. We're not looking for Georgian puffiness here. We're looking for a material that is going to hang loosely and skim the lower body. Right, well, I think that's my 2 penn'orths worth, and I'll see you all in another video.